From TSSZ News headquarters to around the world at the speed of Santa's sleigh, this is The Final. I'm Tristan Oliver. Tonight we have some breaking news concerning Sonic Mania, potentially significant. Noah Copeland has some thoughts on how to improve the Game Awards, and our conversation with Stephen Page. In our extensive, insightful conversation, he explains why he's passing on another Christmas with Sonic for this year, offers a peek at the future of the popular franchise, and then speaks of his main project for the year, related to his favorite holiday, Halloween. Good evening on this festive December night. First, to some breaking news concerning Sonic Mania. A Twitter tipster has directed us to a new file uploaded to Steam, only known as Project Plus. Now, you can see it highlighted on the screen here in yellow. Nothing is known about what exactly Project Plus is or why it was uploaded just yesterday. It could well be project files for Sega to pick up from the development team, which included Christian Whitehead and Simon Thomley. And some fans wonder if it's part of a tie-in with another Sega game for the service, but some fans speculate it could be something more, and specifically something new to add on to the core game. Now, we're combing our sources to get any information we can, and we'll bring you anything we learn on TSSZnews.com as soon as we get it. Now, the other major news out of this week is a shocker out of Sega Europe, as its leader suddenly departs after just 4 months on the job. And that man is Chris Bergstresser. He's now former Sega Europe president and COO, and he is no longer with the company as of this week. He began his career with Sega in 1991, and he's held top roles for companies like Atari and Konami. Neither side is saying why Bergstresser is out, though Sega has indicated he left on good terms. Bergstresser succeeded Jürgen Post, who was in that role for many years. Sega West CEO Tatsuyuki Miyazaki will serve as interim CEO and president while the search is on for a replacement. Now, this week marked the 10th anniversary of the final chapter released in a Sonic Team fan favorite. Knight's Journey of Dreams was released on the Wii in Japan back on December 13th, 2007. It came to the US on the 18th and to Europe the month after. Reception was modest, to put it nicely. Current Sonic Team head Takashi Iizuka led the project. He has indicated he'd like to make a third Knights if Sega wants one. And if you want to see a Reala figure released for sale, First for Figures wants to hear from you. This week, the company asked fans via a closed Facebook group to vote on whether they should press Sega, the licensor, to give the okay for production of Knights' nightmarish counterpart. Enough disinterest may mean the figure stays in the state you see it right now forever. By the way, First for Figures still has a couple of regular Knights figures for sale. And the organizers behind the Game Awards, of which Sonic Mania did not win one, it was beaten out by Super Mario Odyssey, but they're still celebrating with a record 11.5 million streams logged during the broadcast, triple what it was last year. But according to our columnist Noah Copeland, well, there's still room for improvement with the ceremony itself. Here's his reasonable assessment.
My fellow Americans, I have a dream today. I dream of a country where video game award shows aren't crap. So the Game Awards just happened, the third annual in fact. There's several moments that instantly come to mind in infamy, whether it's Kojima's mind-blowing Death Stranding trailer, several pot shots and jabs taken at EA's expense, or Joseph Ferris screaming F the Oscars into the microphone. The Oscars! Now here's the thing. I think having a video game awards show is great. I think it pushes our medium forward. Video games are now big enough to where they can have their own awards show and celebrate the medium. The thing is, the Game Awards aren't prestigious. They don't have a sense of class. They still feel very Spike TV, especially when you make the obvious comparison to the Oscars.
The Oscars!
And some may argue that that's the strength of the Game Awards. Video games and nerd culture in general are very lax and informal, so why wouldn't our awards show reflect that? The problem is, video games haven't arrived yet. Video games aren't there yet. Now, what do I mean? If you notice throughout this award show, video games are constantly being held up by things outside the video game industry. We have advertisements from other mediums show up. We have celebrities from other mediums show up as well. We have constant examples of filler and padding because apparently video games alone can't support an award show about video games. At least not yet. If you look at the Oscars, they have the advantage of being on a major network, being supported by commercial breaks. The ads for Tide to Go remain separate from the content of the show. When someone wins Best Actor, they give their speech, it cuts to black, and then there's an ad. In the Game Awards, the ads are the show. It's very hard to separate skits from ads and ads from skits. There are hostesses there whose sole purpose is to sell products into a microphone. There is no cut to black. They are standing 5 feet from the stage where someone just gave a heartfelt speech, and they're over there telling you about your Uber discounts. Look, I get it. You have to pay for things. And as much as I complain about the constant reminder of eBay's sweet sale on video game consoles, there's simply no Game Awards without sponsors. They would be able to pay for it all. I mean, no McDonald's means no Game Awards. So it's a necessary evil. But this can't be the only way. At least, not forever anyway. I think it's only temporary. Because video games, they aren't there yet. But they will be. I hope we can look back on this day and think, wow, remember when the Game Awards sucked? Remember when we had film actors with barely any video game credits come up on stage so that they could make us look cool? My fellow Americans, I dream of a day where only video game developers are on that stage. A day where the winner of Best Musical Score isn't undercut with a Big Mac discount. A day where our video game award shows are free of Chick Hydrobots and Aisha Tyler. I dream of a day where video game award shows will truly encapsulate our medium as a force of art and expression to be reckoned with, and that it does so with dignity, with truth, and with justice. And speaking of justice, that reminds me, this just in from our sponsor. Reasonable Assessment is proudly sponsored by Justice League from Warner Brothers Entertainment. See Justice League in theaters now. Look, I just want video games to get to a place where they no longer have to justify themselves, and that they can just be cool because they are. It's easy to point at the Game Awards and call them the commercial awards, but really, the Game Awards are only a reflection of the current state of video games in the eyes of pop culture. Video games aren't there yet, but they will be, and they will be soon. That's my assessment. I hope it's a reasonable one.
Let me tell you about our interview coming up shortly, and that is with Stephen Page, a familiar voice this time of the year, as a matter of fact. He's one of the bright minds behind the Christmas with Sonic series, and which collectively to date has been viewed about 3.5 million times on YouTube. This year, he is taking a break from the series, and he's focused this time on another major project. But Page has larger ambitions than just his YouTube channel of more than 500,000 subscribers, and as he noted in our extensive conversation, they're not quite where you'd expect them to be. Stephen Page, welcome to the final. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me on. I'd just like to say before we get started that I am very appreciative that you're giving me this platform to talk to you guys. I'm a huge fan of TSSZ. During Sonic Generations, it was my homepage, and I was refreshing that like every 5 minutes when you guys were hyping that up. So, and also, thank you so much for always putting Christmas with Sonic up there, and I appreciate you. And hey, audience.
And let's talk a little bit about Christmas with Sonic to start first, because you've made very clear that there's not going to be another edition for this year. Mm-hmm. And you've made very clear in other forums and other venues sort of why that's the case. you just a lack of time. You've had another big project this year, which we'll talk about momentarily. You're starting to have a little bit of trouble just sort of developing a story after doing this for 6 years straight, which is incredible. But I don't want to talk about the present. I kind of want to talk about the past. Take me through the development process of making Christmas with Sonic and sort of how that all came to pass, and talking about developing the stories out, getting the sketches together, getting voice actors and things like that.
Well, it basically all started in 2010 when, or actually no, 2008. Wow, when Rihanna, the co-creator, and I, we basically came up with a video that a lot of people might know from DeviantArt called the "Oh My God, Most Original Sonic Fan Fiction Idea Ever." That's the one where, like, we made fun of your general Sonic fan fictions with the, Soras running Rock Candy and with the Chaos Emeralds, and people really went nuts for that. So for years we have been trying to come up with an idea for a sequel, and it just never really worked out because when it comes to my videos in particular, story comes first, and we just couldn't come up with anything. But I think just one year we were like, hey, what if we did a Christmas special, but it was like in a more serious tone? And she was like, yeah, that might be fun. So that's when we came up with the first Christmas with Sonic. And really the development process for Christmas with Sonic is that basically in like August we'll start jamming out ideas. And we take a lot of time on the script because we really want to make sure that like I said, the story will always come first. And basically we'll come up with a script. I'll go, and at this point in time I inform all the voice actors. I'm like, hey, are you guys on board? And basically when everybody says, yeah, we're good, we'll really jam it out. And then by December we're arms deep into it. And basically the workload is that both Rihanna and I write it, and then she draws it, and then I edit it, and then I voice act half the cast. And then actually the past Christmas with Sonic, Christmas with Silver, we actually had my Tails, Amy, and other female voice actor, Sonic Song 182. She came over to my place, and we did the voices here, and that was probably why the voice performance sounded so good last year. But yeah, basically the process is just we just jam it out as fast as we can, and then suddenly before we know it, this video is out there, and then we just abandon it and let the world watch it take place. And yeah, the reason why we really couldn't do this one this year was just because this year in particular we just couldn't come up with a story that's good enough. And we want to just let everybody know that we are going to be coming back again next year. We promise, because we really need to let people know that this is not like, oh, that's the end of the series or anything like that. We love doing Christmas with Sonic. We love seeing the entire Sonic fan base get together and watch this thing. So we're very honored that enough people really still like the Christmas with Sonic series. And when we announced that we weren't doing one, we were sad, but people seem to be okay with it. So we appreciate your patience.
And I think, any good production, just sometimes, frankly, needs a break. It's, and like you said, this has been a 6-year endeavor for you. The first time you made Christmas with Sonic in 2011, did you expect it to sort of roll into something like it is now?
To be completely honest, no. I never really know what sticks to the wall until it happens. I mean, Sonic Zombies is my biggest series, and who had any idea that that would even be something? But in terms of Christmas with Sonic, I knew we had something special when half the time I was editing, I was laughing really hard. Particularly in the first one, there's a scene where Eggman is stuck outside, and he's watching them have this hot meal, and he's freezing, and I just was cracking up the entire time while I was editing, and I'm like, if I'm laughing, they're probably gonna die. So, but we really knew we had something special after like people started to say things like, I can't go Christmas without watching this, and it's just, yeah, it's just so amazing that this series has stuck so much. I mean, some people can't have Christmas without it, so that's why when we were thinking of not doing one this year, it was a pretty heavy hitter for us to be like, oh, we're gonna ruin people's Christmas.
And I think the really nice thing about the Christmas with Sonic series is its simplicity. And by that I mean it's still hand-drawn, and it's still sketches. It's still, I don't want to say it's not produced, because there is clearly a lot of effort put into this. But it has sort of that, that charm of, a storyboard in many respects. Because your specialty is more, on the 3D side, which we'll get to in a bit, I kind of wondered, when you first concocted Christmas with Sonic, did you ever think of doing it in the same style as your other videos?
Well, at the time of the first Christmas with Sonic, I was still using just Gary's mod, and it was just pose to pose, and it didn't look good. So one of the things that the reason why we keep doing it in the way it is because it, to us, looks like what you remember Christmas specials being, like, you know, the old Rankin Bass stop motion stuff, and you know, and we wanted to make it also just feel like a special thing, because, you know, when you watch something that I've done that's full 3D and stuff, that's really impressive. But with Christmas with Sonic, it's more like a postcard kind of feeling, like more of a warm Christmas thing. And also with traditional 2D stuff, I mean, it's not full animation, but it's still in 2D. You could do a lot more expressions that just really fit us. Like, you know, Rihanna draws Eggman in this series in the classic style, not for, you know, just because, like, we prefer the classic universe or anything. It's just because he's a ball that can bounce around, and you can really only do that in 2D. I'm sure there are talented 3D animators that could do that, but for us, yeah, the real reason we did it was because it felt Christmassy and like a postcard. And I'm glad we stuck with that style, because we do get a lot, and I mean a lot, of requests. You should do this in full 3D, but I'm like, but it would take away something from it.
And I should note that in lieu of a full rendition this year, that there is a new, there's actually a fully colored and fully produced piece that Rihanna has drawn and is actually up for sale now. And you can get it in any number of different ways. You can get it you can get it on T-shirts. You can get it on basically anything you like. Yeah, the pillows. I mean, you know, we're actually showing that now. On the screen, the print that Rihanna has produced for this year, and it's absolutely lovely. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, 3D. I mean, I get what you're saying with, you know, 2D versus a fully produced 3D product. I mean, given the colors and given the, you know, depth of this particular print, I mean, if you had, say, if you and Rihanna, let's say, had all of the budget in the world and all of the time in the world, and maybe had some help on the side, would you be interested in kind of doing a full color, fully 2D Christmas with Sonic?
If we had the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z, probably. It would take literally years to do. But I think Rihanna and I have both said on multiple occasions that in the event we did have a full budget, we would love to do like either like traditional Disney 2D animation, or even like, I guess, anime, like Studio Ghibli kind of. We would always keep the series in this Christmas with Sonic anyway in 2D if we could, because her and I are hugely passionate about traditional animation. I wish I could do it, but I'm not even really an animator. I'm just a voice actor that does this thing on the side, but people seem to like it. But yeah, if we had the full budget, wow, that would be awesome, because we have one Christmas with Sonic story we haven't done yet, because we want to save it for something big. Either it be the finale of the series, or like maybe some miracle we were able to animate it, but that would take literal years on our current budget and the current time.
Ah, so there is a hidden story somewhere in the mess. I see. Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's good to save something like that for something special, I suppose.
Mm.
So, but you did work on something very special this year, and it wasn't really Christmas related. So, in the spirit of the holidays, we'll talk about another holiday, and that's Halloween. You had another project, Sonic in Scared Stupid Part 3, and this was full 3D. And this looked fantastic.
Oh,
and I say that, you know, on my proper job, I work in graphic design, but I don't nearly do anything like 3D modeling, animation, things like that. Take me through the process of doing something like Scared Stupid versus something like Christmas with Sonic, because it, to my eyes, and probably to the eyes of a lot of people watching, it's two completely different worlds. Are we that far off?
Well, in the canon of my videos, they're the same exact universe. But in terms of the process of making them, yeah, it is literally North Pole, South Pole. Okay, so Christmas to Sonic is a half and half job between me and Rihanna. Scared Stupid 3 is almost a 100% job just for me. I will say, models are provided by my dear friend Apakeji. If you guys out there have used Source Filmmaker, you've seen a Source Filmmaker Sonic video, he's the one that did the models for him. So basically for something like Scared Stupid 3, oh my god. In the particular case of Scared Stupid 3, it was like a couple years of working on it, but not like solid animation. I had came up with an idea. I was at the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland one night, and I was in the hallway where and I was by myself basically, and I was like, oh my god, this is a little creepy. And I'm like, imagine what it must have been like for Sonic, because this is obviously a third part. I was thinking, man, in the second video, Sails and Sonic were actually stuck in a haunted house, and this is just a fake thing for them was real. I was like, oh, I kind of want to do another one of those videos, and I was like, I could do something with the werehog. And so for that, I basically channel all I know about Halloween, because I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. I know everybody's about Christmas. I'm all about Halloween, and I jam out the story. Now for Source Filmmaker stuff, basically I have to get an idea of what I need for the video. I bug my friend Apakeji, and he will port models like so. If you saw the video, he actually went through really a lot of trouble to get me the Sonic Unleashed human characters, because I really wanted my universe to look like Sonic Unleashed if I could, because that game's beautiful. And the process is basically I got all of my resources, and I spent almost 3.5 months straight animating every day, all day. I barely had any breaks. I think out of the 3 solid months of animating, I had maybe 3 or 4 days off, and I made it on time, which was like a photo finish. But you know what? It's paid off, because people really reacted positively. It's easily my most successful video in years, because my channel went through kind of a rocky phase where it was mostly these Sonic zombie videos, and I thought, like, you know, I got to get back to my narrative roots, because people want that classic old school Sonic and Jaws Steve, and that's what they got. And it's almost at 1 million views. It actually should hit that hopefully this weekend if I'm lucky. And ooh, what a process that was.
And that's really an accomplishment. I mean, considering the amount of subscribers you have on your YouTube channel is 500,000, or just a little bit over, which is incredible. And I think it's something to be said for the quality of the work that you do, that you can have something like this hit 1 million views in just under 2 months' time. But I mean, you have a lot of other videos on the channel, that are in the tens of thousands of views. I mean, I see a couple here.
Sonic and Jaws just hit 60 million on its own, and I'm like, why? I appreciate its traffic, but that video is terrible.
And I mean, and I think that's great, because not only are you one of the more successful YouTubers in this community, you're also one of the more successful fan content creators in this community. I mean, the big talk this year has obviously been about Stealth and Taxman, and their transition from fan to professional in the context of Sonic Mania.
Oh yeah.
But I look at your work, I look at Scared Stupid, I look at a lot of Christmas with Sonic even, and I wonder, why are you still doing this as a hobby? Why are you? I wonder why you aren't at least trying to, sort of knock on Sega's door a little bit, in much the same way as Tax and Stealth did, in different contexts, obviously. Now, granted, for you it might be a little bit more difficult, because they have, Sega Sammy has their own animation studio, but there is still, to our knowledge, a Sonic movie coming out. I can't imagine that they're completely full of animators, or completely full of staff yet for that.
Well,
have you thought about it? Taking a crack at it?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. I'm really glad you asked that, actually, by the way, because I get that a ton. So the thing is that I started my channel just strictly because I wanted to showcase my voiceover. That's what I am. That's what I put on my tax forms, is that I am a voice actor and an independent contractor. I don't actually like animating, if you could believe that. I'm cursed with that. I'm decent
Really?
at it. Yes, I'm cursed with that. I'm decent at it. I don't. My friend Hypothermic, who he animated Hat in Time, he's in the Sonic community. He's known for animating the Source Filmmaker remake of the Sonic Adventure 2 cutscene in the forest. He is an animator. He is incredible. Sega should pick him up immediately. But for me, it's all about the voiceover. Now, obviously, that's not something I can knock on the door for Sega about, because voiceover is basically all auditions, and they seem to be happy with the current cast, so there's no way I'm going to get in there unless somehow Aaron Weber liked me enough to just boot, the cast. And nobody's going to want that. They're going to have a panic on their hands. In the event I was ever offered Sonic, I would take it, and I'd pay them to let me do it. But I have good relations with Sega. They know of me. I've been told that they've watched my videos. I was told actually that they use my videos in some meetings about the brand sometimes. I'm like, whoa! And I was like, oh, I bet you use Sonic. So I was like, no, we just watched Christmas with Sonic. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah. So I am also like not just Sonic for me. Like, for me, my dream voiceover job is just anything that I can tell my mother is on TV. And I again, like, if I was offered a job as an animator, I don't know if I'd take it. I would love to be involved with Sega somehow in some way, but animation is actually not what I want to do with myself. It's just what I do right now to put bread on the table and to entertain, and I have a fan base that's so loyal that I would feel terrible if I just said, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore. And that's basically why I don't bark up Sega's tree. Now, if in the event they ever had a voice acting contest, like, hey, you could be the next Sonic, I would be on that like a fly on dung.
Interesting. I know Aaron was looking for artists and animators for something. He put out that call a couple weeks ago. Have you been approached?
I have not been approached, but I plugged Rihanna there because he knows Rihanna actually, because excuse me, in Southern California we have the Sonic fan convention, Sonic Revolution. I don't run it. I'm a big ambassador because they invited me one year. It was the best con I've ever did, and then last year was even better. And every year we've given Aaron Weber some of our prints for free, and I think he even showed it on a live stream one time. So I plugged Rihanna hoping that she would get it. I don't think they're looking for animators. At least I don't think so. To me, it seems more like they just need more artists to come up with like T-shirt designs, probably, or something. I hope that that's really cool that he reached out to the community like that. But yeah, I don't know if I don't draw personally, so yeah, I hope that he sees that I plugged Rihanna for him, because Christmas with Sonic is known enough to where he'd be like, oh, okay, it's her. So, and also got to remember that that she's also the one that had her art taken for Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing.
Yes, and I wasn't going to directly bring that up, but first thing, it's funny that you say you don't consider yourself an animator, but it has done great wonders for you in much the same way as professionally I am a graphic artist. My title where I work in real life is animator, but I can't draw for shit. I really can't. It's frustrating, but it's also, I guess it's just because of how we grew up in the era of computers, and that's how I learned post-production and Adobe and all that jazz, and it just never occurred to me, like, I can barely draw stick figures on paper. It's kind of sad. Like, sometimes my colleagues look at me with 3 heads and they're like, well, look, everybody learns different. I think that's the interesting part. I do want to quickly end around back to a story that we actually covered, and that was Rihanna's art essentially being taken for the original Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, because that was kind of a big deal when it happened, and Sumo Digital obviously did the right thing, got in touch with them, apologized, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, they sent her a nice little sorry package with a bunch of Sega goodies. So there was no animosity towards Sega. Well, we were actually pretty stoked that morning. I remember I woke up that morning and my inbox was just full of did you see? And I'm like, oh, whoa! And I had to go wake up Rihanna. I'm like, hey, your art was taken. She's like, she just woke up from that. I'm like, what? Huh? And then it was interesting because half the people were like, "Wow, that's cool, your art was sold." And then there was a whole group of people like, "You should sue," and Rihanna was just like, "They own the character, dude." So
that's true.
Yeah.
You can't really get very far with that.
No, and besides, we wouldn't want to do that. I mean, it was a mistake, and now her art is forever imprinted in the Wii version. That could never be changed. So that'll
That's
always
true.
be something funny. And it's just because I remember like there were articles like saying like that like it's copyright infringement. It's like, but it's not. It's their character. I mean, even though it's the Deke character Sonya, Sega owns everything related to Sonic, so there wouldn't be a case. And they were really nice about it. I remember she got the package and it was like had like a nice Sega patch and like a bunch of con stuff. I think like from their different social media platforms.
That's back when Sega used to attend cons regularly. I remember those days. They don't do it much anymore, except on the West Coast where they're based. I don't think they've. Actually, I shouldn't say that because Aaron did come to the IDW thing in October,
Yeah.
but that was kind of the extent of it. And we didn't know about that. They didn't give us a heads up about it, which is, it was a nice surprise. So let's talk a little bit, because you have Rihanna, it's you're both artists, you're significant others. How's that like, just in terms of the creative process? And, is it collaborative? Is it sometimes competitive? Is it sometimes a little bit of both? How does that work in that household?
It's all collaborative. Literally, we share the same bank account. I earn half the paycheck. She earns half the paycheck. I'm always helping her. She's always helping me. She has a hit comic right now called Sahira, the City of Water, and she based the main characters off of her and I have to model for her sometimes. And then obviously when the voiceover stuff comes up, we do that. And then for her, like, she'll come over to me and help me with my stuff. With Scared Stupid 3 in particular, she didn't do anything with the script or anything like that, but like occasionally I'd say, "What do you think of this shot?" She'd be like, "Just change the camera." And then she'll call me over. "What do you think of these colors?" I'm like, "It's all competitive." Wow, it's all it's non-competitive.
Careful.
I should say. Yeah, that's a completely misquote there. No, but it's completely non-competitive. We are always working together towards the same goal, which is basically our next meal and when we could take a nap.
Yeah, those are good goals to have.
Yeah.
And simple goals. So you're on Patreon. Rihanna's on Patreon. I wonder what you think today of the decision from Patreon to sort of reverse what they were going to do with some of the fee structures.
Okay, well, I can relate this to Sonic too. I am completely 100% on board with people speaking their mind. I really hate that there's this counterculture of, "Oh, just be quiet, it'll be fine." No, always speak up, because that's why they reversed this change. I'm really happy about it because I didn't lose any patrons yet, because I'm very fortunate that the people who do patron me on, or pledge to me on Patreon, are very loyal. They love the videos. I mean, I just gave them Scared Stupid 3, which probably gave them the confidence for their dollar. But that was so stupid of them to even think about. And again, you got to speak out when you believe in something. It's always like people are telling me that Ryan Drummond will never come back. Well, he almost did, because we screamed and shouted about it, but unions got in the way. So that's the message to the audience. Outspeak all the time. Like, if you have a feeling, shout it out. It's really that simple.
And it's sort of I don't want to say a double-edged sword, but it's sort of a online revenue. You have Patreon, which helps certainly, but YouTube's kind of gone through its own sort of reckoning lately.
That happens.
And it sounds like for somebody like you, even though you have 500,000 subscribers, it sounds like the changes that YouTube has made have not really been for the better, have they?
Oh, absolutely not. in no way. Let me just say something, okay? I have people who don't like me. I mean, I don't expect everybody to like me, but there's a lot of people that don't like me, whether it be because I'm confident in myself and I'm opinionated. But sometimes I'll get people to say, "Why does he have a Patreon? Sonic and Jaws has 60 million views. He's probably rich." And I'm like, I haven't made a penny off of Sonic and Jaws. A video like Sonic Zombie Origins, which is my second most popular, that does have ads on it. I can't even feed myself with what I make every month on that video. So just because I have 500,000 subscribers does not mean that I'm Jake Paul at all. In fact, I'll just say that I live paycheck to paycheck, basically, because YouTube there's the big thing right now with the whole demonetization process. That's just one problem in a sea of YouTube problems. Another problem is that, okay, let's say your video is monetized, right? You're only getting like 30-40% of the ad revenue that YouTube gets. If YouTube makes $1 off of an advertiser, you're getting like 60 cents. So no, not even. I don't even know anymore because they keep changing it. So yeah, YouTube, it's scary being a YouTuber. I know that it's a glamorous thing for a lot of people, but it's a lot of stress, especially because you got to balance, is this video going to be worth making? Is your audience going to be happy? Is the platform going to die tomorrow? I'm fortunate that my video demonetization process has not been very bad. I only had one video demonetized, and they changed it back pretty quick. But you never know, especially because I'm in the YouTube industry of animation. Animators have no place anymore on this platform because YouTube's algorithm wants you to make a 10-minute video every day. A 10-minute animation will take me a month to make, if that. So it's like, oh my god, YouTube just makes it so hard to even live anymore if you want to be if that's what you're trying to do for a job. Patreon is super important too, but unfortunately for me, my audience is mostly kids, so it's not like they've got hundreds of dollars to just give me blindly, but that's why I have just $1. I always try to whenever I plug my Patreon, I'm like, hey, if 500,000 people are subscribed, imagine if each of them gave me $1. I could fund the next Sonic movie myself, so yeah, YouTube's a scary platform, but the one thing that keeps me going, and I know that this is so corny, but it really is my audience, because I can feel terrible, but then I'll go to a convention and my creative batteries are completely charged because they're like, I just love what you do. And I'm like, wait, me? Really? I didn't do it. Oh, wait, I did do something. I made this video that made them happy. And it's just if you're going in for the money, don't. That's all. I know that kind of changed topic really quick, but don't do it for the money.
But there are some out there who, for better or worse, have to do it for the money, and
Mm-hmm.
with the art world on the internet and the animation world on the internet so saturated, there are going to be winners and there are going to be not so much winners. If you were running YouTube, if you were running Patreon, any of those sites, in your estimation, what would make it fair? How would you strike the balance between the provider of the platform provider, basically, that is carrying all that space and all that streaming and all that bandwidth and all of that, between making sure that artists and creators can make a decent living?
Okay, I don't know about Patreon, but I do have some stuff that could actually really fix YouTube for the better. Here's the thing with YouTube. In 2013, I like to say, was YouTube's peak interest towards its creators, maybe even a couple of years before, but back then you could make a video and all of your subscribers would see it. And if you don't know, YouTube's algorithm works where if it gets enough traffic fast enough, it'll throw it out there in the algorithm for everyone to see. So if I made a video back then, let's say, I think back in 2013, I maybe had not even 100,000 subscribers. I think I had like 40,000 subscribers. I would put a video out there, and within 24 to 48 hours, I would have at least that many in views. So it'd be a Sonic video, right? Now, the algorithm would say, okay, it got a lot of views, let's throw it on the algorithm. Then let's say Some Call Me Johnny makes another Sonic video, then his subscribers see his video, then on his related video they'll see mine, and then on mine he'll see his, and it was a great thing. Everybody was winning, and the CPM was higher, and the ad rates were better. So then now we fast forward to now, where your subscribers literally have to dig a ditch in order to see what you're making. They have to click subscribe, and they have to click notify, click all notify. It's like, why? So here's what I think that YouTube could do easily, and this could all be done overnight just to fix a lot of these problems. Firstly and foremostly, just let the damn subscribers see what you make. I have 500,000 subscribers. Christmas with Silver only has above 200,000 views. That's messed up. They should all be seeing it. It's the content they subscribe for. And then so everybody should be able to see what you're making, your subscribers. Then the algorithm should make related videos related again. So I can make a Sonic video right now. Let's say Scared Stupid 3's out there. It's not related on most big Sonic videos. Sonic Forces just came out. It should be everywhere. And Sonic Forces videos should be on my videos. And it's just like, they don't do that anymore. It's only clickbait garbage that they really push these days. So, and then another thing is that they need to do a 50-50 split with ads. Because you have happy creators, they make more content, more advertisers come in. Now, I get the really strange and deranged Elsa Frozen videos that are creepy and, you know, attract the pedophiles. That's something that really needs to be taken care of, and I think they're doing it the wrong way. And another thing that I think that they should do, and this is super important to me anyway, is that they should let you split the revenue with copyright holders. Sonic and Jaws, right? 60 million views, not a single penny. Took me a long time to make that. That's okay. I take a loss because as long as people are watching the video and having fun, that's what matters to me. However, I do have bills to pay. So they should have made it so that the reason why Sonic and Jaws is not monetized is because I used music from Jaws. What they should do is say, okay, Steve, we see that you made a video, but you used copyrighted music. You're going to get half the revenue, and the Universal Studios is going to get half the revenue, and you're both happy, right? Right? Okay, God, that's it. It's so simple. But the problem is that, you know, as everybody says, you know, YouTube is like 5 different teams just throwing things together to create a peanut butter, bologna, and pickle sandwich, and it's like, that's not harmony. So, yeah, YouTube, it could be easily fixed, I think.
Speaking of storytelling and speaking of Sonic Forces, since you touched on it, it seems to... Yeah, well, it's sort of a broader question because you are a storyteller, and Sega of late seems to really want to make their experiences, at least in my view, more about storytelling. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that has a place in gaming, or do you think that should be left to movies, film, not games?
Okay. It really depends, honestly, on each individual person. But for me personally, at least when it comes to Sonic, it should be on the back burner. I grew up, listen, my first Sonic game was Sonic 2. So back then there was no story. You got it in the manual. You ran around and you did things. I appreciated when Sonic Adventure tried to make a story, but now that I'm older, I'm like, I'd rather just run through the levels. And I would love a good Sonic story, but with the current, for me anyway, with the current writers and the voice cast, I can't take it seriously. I think that Sonic Unleashed sort of did it okay, but when it comes, like, I was watching the PlayStation experience, and there was a demo, and people are like, this game looks great. I'm like, what game? It was like a QuickTime event as a game, and I'm like, that's not just me. I'm more of an arcade kind of person. I like to pick up the controller or go on my keyboard, and I like to move around and do the things I want to do. That's probably why Sonic Mania to me was like one of the best experiences I've had since Sonic and Knuckles, probably, because it was just, it knew what it wanted to be. Like, I think that when it comes to Sonic, the game needs to come first. If you could do a story, great, and get good writers and, you know, maybe hire some unionized voice actors to take it a little more seriously. And I mean, I think story can work in Sonic, but I don't think it's necessary. I'll take it if it's good. I mean, I don't know. I guess I actually always people are like, what is your favorite Sonic story? And I'm like, is there a good one? I mean, I think the original trilogy had a great story, but it was so undertold. It was told through the scenery. It was told through the environments. It didn't need to go, hey, that's cool, guys. I'm cool. You know, like, it just, it did its thing. You know?
Since you did a little bit of voice acting for us there, let's talk about what you said earlier was sort of your dream is to become a voice actor. In the context of this community, have you reached out to anybody professional like Mike Pollock or even Ryan Drummond or Roger Craig Smith or any of those folks for guidance, for mentorship, for things like that?
I know Ryan Drummond knows of me, and that makes me fangirl a little bit. I haven't necessarily talked to them. I think in my current world, people think that Roger Craig Smith is like the devil to me, and I'm like, no, not at all. I think he looks like a nice guy. In fact, Mike Pollock actually retweeted a charity stream I did last year and gave us a lot of views, and that was really nice of him. I haven't really reached out because every voice actor will tell you the same thing. Like, there's no one way of getting into the industry. I mean, I've spoken with other voice actors. I had a conversation with Maurice LaMarche and Wes Johnson. But in terms of Sonic voice actors, I've only been mentioned by Ryan, and that's really it. I think it's just because I don't really want to bother people, I guess. Like, I'm more of a guy that's like, I'm in my own little group, and if you want to come on in, come on in. We got room. I'm not like, hey everyone, I'm out there, So, in terms of my own personal voiceover career, I'm really looking for more commercial work. But to be honest with you, I've been really slacking just because I've been so focused on the YouTube channel, because that's actually producing. And it's still alive and well. It's not like I have a dead channel where nothing happens. It's like the Scared Stupid 3 just skyrocketed the entire future of this channel. So, but yeah, I have not personally reached out to Roger or Mike Pollock. I don't think they want to hear from me anyway, because I'm just another fan just looking for advice, I guess. But yeah, I guess that's it.
Well, I know Mike Pollock in particular is very, very well involved in this community, so it kind of crossed my mind. Final question, what's your dream project? Is it voice acting? If so, what is it? Is it animation? If so, what is it? Is it a combo of both?
My dream project, what I've always wanted to do was probably be in a Disney movie. I love Disney a lot, and I would love nothing more than to be in a theatrical produced, especially if it was traditional animation, Disney movie. But I will tell you this: I'm not one of the Sonic voice actors in the community that's constantly out to be Sonic someday. But if the event ever came where I got a DM on Twitter from Aaron Weber saying we'd like to come have a conversation with you, and then eventually led to possibly being Sonic, that would be really incredible on a personal level. Because for me, I think about this sometimes. Like, imagine if I had to make a video saying like, hey guys, I can't make Sonic videos anymore. There's a reason coming later. And then there it is on Thursday at TSSZ. We have an exclusive, thing that Stephen Page will now be the official voice of Sonic, and then there'll be a collective I
appreciate that you want to give us the exclusive. I might hold you to that if we get to that point.
Well, it's like, let me just say, okay, when in 2010, when we heard that there's going to be franchise-changing news, like, I was refreshing TSSC that whole day, and it was not Ryan Drummond, so I went and basically hung myself. But I'm not saying it's ever going to happen that I would be Sonic. I would be honored to, but I don't think it's going to happen. But if it did, I would love to be able to share the TSSC link of it with my fans. See, guys, this is why I can't do it anymore. And then they're going to be like, I was rooting for him the whole time, and then yeah. But I'd like to leave off on one thing. I know this is the last question, but it relates. Is that as far as dream projects for myself, what I'm doing now, I don't want to talk about too much, but I am working on something that I really hope rocks the whole fan base. It's something that I've thought about for years, and it's something that I'm starting to get the wheels moving on, and it's going to be a big, huge thing for me. So that's really my dream project, I guess, is what I'm doing right now for the YouTube thing, Disney, and if I was ever Sonic, that would be mighty swell.
Goodness. Well, that's a tease if I ever heard one. I guess we're going to have you back when we know a little bit more about it.
I don't know when it'll be, but I will. It's something that I can't even really talk about, because if it doesn't happen, I would hate to disappoint. But yeah, it's something I'm basically gonna be ending using Source Filmmaker. I'm gonna try to go on to Maya, the big boy leagues. So we'll see. And there's a project that I want to do because it's so special that I don't want it to look like Source Filmmaker anymore.
Makes total sense. And as somebody who, I'm not a Maya user, I know folks who are Maya users. I'm more of a Cinema 4D person. No matter what tool you use to make that next step, it's a very significant one. And if it's successful, hopefully you're gonna have way more than 500,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. So. Yeah.
There is a dark side to YouTube, though, that I could easily take. If I just made a Sonic Zombie every week, I would probably have 1 million views by now, or subscribers by now. But I don't play that game, especially because I've been offered money by partners to, hey, if you make a Sonic Zombie video every week and partner with us, we'll give you $1,000. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna poison my channel like that. I'm good.
That's very, it's very. I'm very intrigued that you brought that up because, in the industry that I work in, which I guess encompasses this, which is news, unless you really stick to your guns, you're sort of trained to the idea that in order to do the good stuff, in order to do good work, it means you have to basically also produce a lot of subpar, terrible, shitty work that you may not be satisfied with, but your audience might be. And it's really refreshing, I think, to hear somebody who is willing to stick to their laurels in that respect and not sell out, even though it might be more financially successful for them in the end, that you want to kind of still keep your eye on the prize, so to speak. That is really good. Well done.
The nightmares I have had talking to these douchebag recruiters for networks, I will just say, there have been offers that were crazy, that people are like, why would you turn it down? But the thing is that I'm not after YouTube fame. I'm after a lasting legacy. If that, I know it's corny, but it's like, I want people to look back on me when the day comes that I quit. They're like, you know what? That was a channel that we won't see again. Not just, most YouTubers, they'll find their one-trick pony and just do that over and over and over again. I could produce a Sonic Zombie video every day if I wanted to, and that would be nuts. YouTube would probably put me on the pedestal of gaming because there'd just be a new stupid haha hee funny video every day. But I ended my most profitable series, and I'm happy I did. I love telling stories, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Good on you. Well, Stephen Page, we look forward to seeing and hearing more stories from you and Rihanna in the future. Good luck with everything. Good luck with the Patreon. Good luck with YouTube. And good luck with all this super secret stuff that you can't just tell us about just yet.
Well, I'm very honored that you guys had me on. You're very welcome, and thank you. This was a lot of fun.
It sure was. And that was Stephen Page, and we thank him for spending time with us. And, we're very grateful for his time with us on the final, our fall finale. For those of you that are just watching us, we have a bulletin to pass along, and let's repeat that bulletin. Sonic Mania. It has to do with Sonic Mania, and it has to do specifically with some of the... It has to do with some of the... it has to do with this. Let's show it to you. This is a element that has cropped up on SteamDB just within the past 24 hours. It's called Project Plus. Nobody knows what it is. They just know that at this point it's related to Sonic Mania. We don't have any further details. There is some speculation. It could be anything from delivering project files to Sega to something perhaps more substantial, perhaps DLC, perhaps an add-on. So far, developers have been very quiet about it. When they're not quiet, or when we learn information from our sources, we will pass it along to you on TSSZnews.com as soon as we're able. And finally tonight, while I get this thing together, it's the final word. There we go. And the final word this week, we asked you to tell us the best Sonic-related gift that you've received, and our winner this week, Corey Robillard, not only told us, he shared it with us too, and believe me, it is pretty neat.
One of the best Sonic gifts I ever received are these. These are completely custom-painted Vans shoes by my girlfriend. And, they're friggin' wicked. They were meant to represent Sonic Generations. So, yeah.
Well, congrats to you, Corey. We have another gift for you. You've won a Sonic 25th Anniversary mug. You have 24 hours to DM us your contact information so we can ship it to you before the real holiday rush is underway.
All right, everyone, that's our show for tonight. You can follow me at Noah Copeland. That's my Twitter. I sometimes post semi-interesting things on there. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys later.
And thank you, Noah. And indeed, that's the final, and now you are finally up to date. It's been a real pleasure bringing these broadcasts to you every sometimes Fridays and sometimes Saturday nights, amid all of the technical snafus, amid all of the, ums and ahs and pregnant pauses and weird little quirks that seem to happen from time to time here. But it's been a pleasure, and we're glad that you've been a part of it, and we hope you've enjoyed these long-form interview series. We're looking to do it again in the spring, and we'll share details with you once those plans are finalized, but I have a feeling I will be back with you a lot sooner than that, so stay tuned. Have a peaceful holiday season and a peaceful end of the year. Have a happy Hanukkah and a Merry Christmas. Good night and good luck.
With the help of knights, Elliot and Clarice found the star, shining in 7 colors. But the entire story was a dream. So, what was that star? They don't talk about the dream they saw. But there is one thing both of them know. Something special will happen after they embark on an adventure with knights. They start feeling cheerful again.
Are you okay?
And now happiness, like the light of a small candle, starts filling the city once again. Everything is okay now. Give a star of happiness to the heart of these brave children. Give a star of happiness to the heart of everyone. Merry Christmas.
In a dream I could see you are not far away. Anytime, any place, I can see your face. You're that special one that I've been waiting for, and I hope you're looking for someone like me. In my dreams, I can hear you calling me in the night. Everything is so sweet in your eyes. I feel there's so much inside. Oh yeah. In the night, dream delight, I want to see you standing there. In the night, dream delight, I found someone who really cares. In a dream we can do everything we want to. There's nowhere I'd rather be but here with you. The stars above light the way only for you and I'm so glad I found the one I've been looking for. Keep the dream of the one you're hoping for. Love can come through an open door. Just be strong, and you're sure to find the one. Find the one in the night. In delight, I want to see you standing there in the night. Dream delight, I found someone who really cares. In the night, dream delight, I want to see you smile again. In the night, dream delight,